Okay, hello, welcome back. So today we will be discussing yung second part sa current asset management, and that is the receivable management, or sabi dito, managing the receivables. Okay, receivable management involves decisions made by the management to net income. First, the whether to offer credit sales to customers or stop selling customers on credit. Okay, so one aspect of managing receivables is to make a decision kung magsisell ba tayo on credit or papautangin ba natin ang mga customer natin or hindi natin papautangin ang customer natin, right? Because kung papautangin natin, kung papautangin natin ang customers natin, the most common result or outcome will be that our sales will increase kasi nga mas marami ang bibili sa atin kasi mas maengganyo sila from that credit, right? Pero the disadvantage of offering credit sales to customers is there's a risk of not collecting, of us not collecting from our customers, right? So, pwede, may mga customers tayo na hindi natin makakollect or hindi magbabayad. So, that is a risk. On the other hand, if we stop selling, uh, if we stop selling to customers on credit, well, the most likely outcome will be that our sales will plummet or liliit ang sales natin. Kasi nga, most probably, hindi naman lahat is afford nila ang binibenta natin. Right? Or most commonly, wala silang pera on that time. So, our sales will decrease. Pero of course, the positive side is that hindi na natin problemahin yung mga customers na hindi nagbabayad kasi nga cash na sila nagbabayad agad-agad. So, that is one decision regarding our receivables. Next decision is whether to increase or decrease credit period, the discount period, and the discount rate. Okay, so one way to make to ensure or one way to increase our collection rate is to make decisions on this whether we should increase or decrease the credit period kapag kapag nag-i-increase tayo ng credit period, syempre, kapag nag-i-increase tayo ng credit period, most likely that uh, our cost mas marami ang mas maraming customers ang hindi makakabayad, right? Kasi may mga customers tayo na hindi makakapag-produce ng mga pera agad-agad. Pero kapag i-decrease naman natin ang credit period natin, edi mas matagal naman tayo makaka-collect. Meaning, mas matagal tayong makakahawak ng pera, thus mas matagal nating magagamit ang mga pera na dapat ay sa atin. So that is one decision. Another decision is to increase or decrease the discount period and the discount rate. Okay, so in order for our customers to pay earlier para mas maengganyo silang magbayad na mas maaga is for us to offer discount rates and discount period. Kung kapag sasabihin natin na mayroon kayong discount kapag magbabayad kayo within 10 days, edi most likely na mas mapapadali ang collection period natin kasi most likely na mas marami ang magbabayad on that discount rate ay o discount period. Right? Kasi gusto naman nila mag-avail ng discount. And last decision is whether to increase or decrease the number of collecting officer or salaries of the collecting officer. Okay? Kapag i-increase natin ang number of collecting officers, syempre mas mapapadali or mas marami tayong makakollect. Pero the downside of increasing the number of collecting officers is the increase of salaries na babayaran natin. Syempre, kailangan naman natin silang bayaran. Pero kapag i-decrease naman natin ang collecting officers natin, mas maliit ang mako-collect natin. Pero mas maliit naman ang babayaran natin, right? So that is a decision regarding our receivables. Okay, so when deciding the net benefit of decision, we can use this formula. Okay, so kung ang business natin is nagde-decide kung beneficial ba or hindi ang mga decision na to, we can use this formula. Okay, so if there is an increase in net sales, of course, that is a positive, right? So we need to add it. Tapos, if we have cost savings from reduced investment in accounts receivable, meaning mas maliit ang magagasto natin, right? Mas maliit ang magagasto natin from our accounts receivable or from collecting our accounts receivable. So kung mas maliit ang magagasto natin, that is positive for us. So we need to add it. Next is the decrease in expenses due to the decision. Okay, that is para halos pares lang din sila ng cost savings, pero kapag mas maliit ang expenses natin from the resulting from the decision, of course that is a positive thing. Thus, we need to add it. Next, if opportunity cost of money tied up to accounts receivable. If there is an opportunity cost of money tied up to accounts receivable. Kaya ang opportunity cost kasi, these are the costs na nami-miss outan natin. Right? So kung gagawin natin ang isang decision or kapag gagawin natin ang isang bagay, ano ang mga opportunity na mawawala sa atin if we make the other decision. So those are opportunity costs. Right? So ito yung mga benefits sana na na-miss outan natin. So we need to deduct it. Next is the lost sales. Okay, so kabaliktaran lang sila ng increase in net sales. If the decision results in a decrease in sales or we have lost sales, then that is a negative outcome. So we need to deduct it. And last, kapag meron siyang increase in expenses due to the decision, okay, so kabaliktaran lang sila nito. So we need to deduct it. And after considering all of those, we will now be left with the net benefit or loss. Siyempre, gusto natin ang net benefit. Pero kung ang decision is magre-result sa net loss, of course, we need to we need to make other decisions. Okay? So, an example, Max company has an average collection period of 40 days. Okay? So, on average, Max company collects his receivables in 40 days. In accordance with the firm's credit terms of net 30, meaning ang ang credit terms ng company is to collect the is to give customers 30 days to pay. Okay? So, they are giving customers 30 days to pay pero ang average collection period nila is 40 days, right? So, that is a negative. This period is, yung 30 days, it is divided into, yung collection period na 40 days, it is divided into 30 days until the customers place their payments in the mail and 8 days to receive, process, and collect payment. So, 32 days talaga ang days or time na magbabayad ang customers. Pero, dahil due to our processing and our collecting, it will take an additional 8 days, right, before we actually receive the payment. So, ang total, bago natin ma-receive ang payment from customers is 40 days. Max is considering initiating a cash discount by changing its credit terms from net 30 to 210 net 30. Meaning, yung 210 net 30, it just means that Max is considering yung credit terms na magiging na sasabihin sa mga customers na you will have 10 days to pay, you will have 10 days to avail for a 2% discount. Okay, so yung 2 dito, that is the discount rate. So yung 2 meaning 2%. Tapos yung 10, that is just the days for the customers to avail the discount rate. Okay, so kung magbabayad sila within 10 days, then they can avail the 2% discount. Net 30. So yung net 30, it just means na they have 30 days to pay. Okay, so kung lalagpas na ng 30 days, ang payment ng mga customers, it will decrease their credit rating. Thus, bababa ang tiwala natin sa kanila. Right? So, in the future, hindi na natin sila bebentahan. The firm expects this change to reduce the amount of time till the payments are placed in the mail, so resulting in an average collection period of 25 days. Okay, so kapag upon changing the credit terms, Max expects for the new collection period to be 25 days. So from 40 days, magiging 25 days na siya. Max normally sold 1,100 units, but the discount will result in an increase of sale by 50. Okay, so hindi siya 50% but 50 units. The selling price is 3,000, while the variable cost is 2,300. So yung variable cost kasi, yung variable cost can be classified kasi either variable or fixed. So kung fixed, meaning hindi siya magbabago from period to period. Kahit ilan pa ang ibebenta natin, the cost will still remain the same. An example of fixed cost is the electricity cost. So kapag kahit ilan man ang ibebenta natin, yung babayaran nating electricity will remain the same, right? While variable cost, these are costs that increases or decreases based on the units sold. Okay? So kapag 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 meron tayong additional sales, then yung variable cost natin, it will increase by that increase of sales. Okay, so examples is yung mga gasoline natin, right? So kung mas marami tayong ibebenta, mas maraming gas ang magagamit natin. So yung gas is dependent on the amount of units that we are sold. Another example of variable cost is yung amount of materials na ginagamit natin. Right? Syempre kung mas marami ang mabebenta natin, mas marami ang materials na gagamitin natin to make the inventory or to make the merchandise, thus increasing our cost. So ito lang yung ibig sabihin ng variable cost. It is estimated that 80% of the customers will avail the discount. Okay, so that is will avail the discount. If the opportunity cost is 14%, what is the net advantage or disadvantage of the decision? Okay, so yung opportunity cost lang nito is yung 14% nito, it just means na uh, this is the percentage na ma-earn natin from our investment, right? So bakit tinawag ng opportunity cost? Well, kasi kapag mas matagal tayong makakollect ng pera, right? Kapag mas matagal tayong makakollect ng pera, hindi natin magagamit ang pera na yon. So kung hindi natin magagamit ang pera na yon, hindi natin mai-invest. So kapag hindi natin mai-invest, sayang naman ang 14% na ma-earn sana natin kung nakuha lang natin ang pera. So, yung 14% na ma-earn sana natin, that is a lost opportunity. So, that is why we call it opportunity cost. Okay, so, opportunity cost, pwede ding dito tawagin na rate of return. Okay, pwede ding tawagin na rate of return. What is the net advantage or disadvantage of the decision? Okay, so now we need to compute if the decision will result in a benefit for the company or it will result in a loss. So first is we need to determine kung mas yung increase in sales. So sabi dito, 1,100 ang units normally, pero due to the discount, magi-increase ang sales by 50, right? So, yung 50 na yun, that is the increase of sales. So, increase of sales of 50, tapos, i-multiply natin siya sa difference between the selling price and the variable cost. So, okay, so bakit natin i-deduct ang variable cost? Well, kasi totoo nga na nag-increase by 50, nag-increase ng by 50 yung sales natin. Pero it also means that the variable cost will also increase 50 times. So 50 times 2,300, that is the increase of variable cost. Okay, so remember yung variable cost, it is dependent on the amount of units that we sold, right? So dahil nag-increase nga ang sale natin, meaning nag-increase ang sales natin, pero nag-increase din ang variable cost natin. So that's why we need to deduct yung 2,300. So the additional profit from the sales is 50 times 700. So 35,000. That is the additional profit on our sales. Next, let's take a look if we kung meron tayong opportunity cost or cost savings. Okay? Yung opportunity cost or cost savings kasi, that is just dependent on the increase or decrease of our accounts receivable. Okay? So remember that our goal in managing the receivables is for us to collect our receivables faster, right? Gusto nating maka-receive ng money faster para magamit natin ang pera through investments or maybe payments, right? So, it is dependent on the increase or decrease of our accounts receivable. Kapag nag-decrease ang accounts receivable natin, meaning, mas marami tayong nako-collect, right? So, kapag mas marami tayong nako-collect, that is a positive, that is a benefit for us. So, if there is a decrease in our accounts receivable, that will result in a cost savings. Pero, if our accounts receivable increases, it means that our collection will if it means that our collection will decrease. So kung liliit ang collection natin, sayang naman, sayang yung pera na magagamit natin sana for investments. So sayang yung opportunity. So that is the opportunity cost kapag mag-i-increase ang accounts receivable. Okay, so opportunity cost is a loss para sa atin, while cost savings is a benefit. Okay, so in this case, mas gusto natin na yung average receivable natin is bababa. Okay. So let's compute for the average receivable or yung ano natin, investment natin sa mga accounts receivable. So yung investment natin sa accounts receivable, sabi nga dito, cost of marginal investment in accounts receivable. Yung investment natin sa accounts receivable, it just pertains to the variable cost. So it pertains to the 2,300. Kasi yung 2,300 na ito, uh, 2,300 na to, this is our investment in the accounts receivable. Okay, so kapag dahil sa decision natin, lalaki ang sales natin, pero lalaki din ang variable cost natin, right? So, that is our investment, so-called investment. So, we need to use our variable cost. Okay, so, from the given, alam natin na before, the collection period is 40 days. So, alam naman natin na yung collection period or average age of receivables. Okay, so yung collection period is just the average age of the receivables. So yung average age of receivables, na-discuss naman natin sa financial statement analysis, yung formula niya is just dividing 360 or 360 days by the accounts receivable turnover. So, kung meron tayong average collection period or average age of receivable, makukuha natin ang turnover. So, in this case, dahil 40 days ang normal collection period niya, the turnover is just 360 divided by 40. So, the receivable turnover is 9. Okay? So, 9 ang receivable turnover ni Max. So, from the receivable turnover, we can now compute for the average accounts receivable. Okay, so remember the receivable turnover is computed using the sales divided by the average accounts receivable. Okay, so if we derive the formula from that, sales divided by average receivable is equal to turnover. We can compute for the average receivable by simply dividing the average by simply dividing the turnover with the sales. Okay, so we need to divide the sales with the uh, with the turnover. Pero in this case, we need to use instead of using the selling price, we need to use the variable cost. Kasi nga, ang concerned lang tayo dito is our investment. Okay, so yung investment natin. So, 2,300 times 1,100, that is the normal units na nabebenta natin. So, the total normal investment natin is, wait lang, 2,300 times 1,100 equal to 2,530,000. So, that is our normal investment before the decision. Tapos, i-divide lang natin with the turnover to get the average receivable. So, 2,530 divided by 9 is just 281,111. So, that is our average receivable before the decision. So, next, we need to get the average receivable after the decision or with the proposed decision. So, we need to use the variable cost pa rin. Hindi siya magbabawi, yung variable cost na 2,300. Tapos, we need to multiply it with the new unit sold. So, in this case, dahil nag-increase ang unit sold natin by 50, ang new unit sold natin is 1,150. So, we just simply multiply 1,150 times the variable cost of 2,300. Okay? So, the new investment sa AR natin is 2,645,000. So, we need to divide it with the turnover. So, in this case, yung bagong turnover sa decision is 14.4. Okay, so 14.4 yung turnover. Just simply dividing yung 360 divided by the collection period na 25 days. So, 14.4. So, 2,645,000 divided by 14.4, we'll now get the average AR of 183,681. Okay? So, ito na yung new average AR natin. So, this is the old average AR and this is the new average AR. So, we need to deduct it and determine if it is a decrease or increase. So, the difference is 97,430. And that is a decrease in accounts receivable for us. So, dahil nag-decrease ang accounts receivable, it means that yung collection natin, total collection natin is lalaki ang total collection natin. So, dahil mas lalaki ang total collection natin, it just means that we can use this 97,430 na additional collection natin, pwede natin siyang i-invest, right? So, yung additional 97,430 na collection natin, pwede natin siyang i-invest. What is the rate of investment kung i-invest man natin? That is the opportunity cost of 14%. Okay? So, 97,430 times 14%, the cost savings or yung interest na ma-earn natin from the additional collection is 13,640. So, from our decision, mas lalaki ang collection natin, thus, mas malaki ang may invest natin. So, meron tayong ma-earn na extra 13,000 na interest. Okay, so that is a positive sa atin. And last, we need to consider the cost of the cash discount. Okay, so the decision involves the cash discount, right? So, yung cash discount na ibinibigay natin sa customer natin, that is actually the cost or yung cost na i-incur natin for this specific decision. So, yung discount na binibigay natin sa customer, that is actually a decrease of our total collection, right? Mas maliit ang mako-collect natin dahil nga nag-o-offer tayo ng cash discount. So, what is the projected cash discount na kukunin ng mga customer? Well, sabi dito, it is estimated that 80% of the customers will avail the discount. Okay, so 80% of our sales. Okay, 80% of our sales. So 3,000 so ano yung new sales natin? 1,150 units times the selling price of 3,000. That is our sales. We multiply it by the 80% na kukuha ng discount. So times 80%. Tapos i-multiply natin ng 2% which is the discount rate. Ito yung 2% under sa credit terms. So 2%. So, ang total discount na ibibigay natin sa customers natin na project natin is 55,200. Okay, so dahil mawawalan tayo ng pera, that is a deduction. So, the total net benefit or net loss from sa atin is 35,000 plus 13,640 less 55,200. So 35 plus 13.64 less 55.2 is negative 6,000 negative 6,560 dapat. Or wrong ba yung ano? Anong t times 3,000 times 0.8 times 0.2, that is ayun na 1150 1150 times 3,000 times 0.8 times 0.02, that is 55,200. Tama customer. So the net profit or net loss from our decision is 35,000 plus 13,640 na cost savings natin. Tapos, i-deduct natin yung 55,200 na discount. So, 6,560 dapat. 6,560 or negative 6,560 ang makukompute natin. Meaning, kung itutuloy natin ang decision na to, we will be producing a net loss of 6,560. So, kahit na tataas ang sales natin, kahit na tataas ang interest income natin from our investment dahil meron tayong cost savings, yung cost or yung cash discount na mabibigay natin sa mga customers natin is too much to cover this benefit. So in the end, it will be a loss to the company. So in the end, ang magiging decision ng company is to discard this decision. Okay, so ganun ang pag-compute ng benefit or loss of a decision under the receivable management. Okay, so let's move on to the managing of the receipts and the disbursements. Okay, so average collection period has two parts. Okay, so the time from the sale until the customer mails the payment. So yung from the time na nagbenta tayo hanggang sa time na magbabayad ang customer. And the second part is the receipt, processing, and the collection time of the actual payment. Okay? So, and yung average payment naman, it also has two parts. The time from the purchase of goods on account until the firm mails its payments, and the receipt, processing, and collection time required by the firm's suppliers. Okay? So, we need to discuss float. So, what is float? So float refers to funds that have been set by the payer, but are not yet usable funds to the payee. Float is important in the cash conversion cycle because its presence lengthens both the firm's average collection period and average payment period. However, the goal firm should be to shorten its average collection period and lengthen its average payment period. Both can be accomplished by managing float. Okay, so ang goal natin through our receipts and disbursements, through our collections and payments, ang goal natin is to collect from our customers as soon as possible, or to shorten the average collection period, and to pay pay our liabilities as late as possible, or to lengthen our average payment period. Okay, so yun yung goal natin. Both can be accomplished by managing float. Okay, so if we take a look at our example kanina, di ba sabi dito, yung original collection period niya is 40 days. The 40 days is divided into 32 days until the customers place their payments in the mail, and 8 days to receive, process, and collect payments once they are mailed. Okay, so from the time they are mailed, yung 8 days na from the time they are mailed to our receiving, processing, and collection, that is the float. Okay, ito yung float natin. Imaginein mo, after 32 days, nagbayad na nga ang customers nito. Pero it will take additional 8 days na float bago pa natin makukuha ang pera. So this 8 days is the float. So we can actually shorten this 8 days, right? Imagine kung ma-shorten natin siya ng 1 day lang, and that will increase our collection period. So float has three component parts. First is the mail float. Okay, so from the time na i-mail na ng customers sa atin or ng payer to the time na nare-receive. Next is the processing float. So from the time na ma-receive na ng payment, tapos to the time na magde-deposit into the firm's account. And last is the clearing float. This is the time between the deposit of the payment and when the spendable funds become available to the firm. Okay, so we have mail, processing, and clearing float. So the component of float is attributable to the time required from a check to clear the banking system. Okay, so in order to shorten the float or to manage the float, we have possible things. First is to, of course, speed up the collection, right? If we collect faster, edi hindi masyadong problema ang float, right? Next is to slow down payment. Kasi nga, like I said earlier, our goal, kung tayo ang magbabayad, our goal is to pay uh, as late as possible without damaging our credit rating, right? Next is cash concentration, and next is the zero balance account. So just memorize all of this. Next, the net benefit or loss is computed. Okay, so in managing our float, we have meron na yung techniques, right? Meron tayong techniques. All of these are techniques. So kung i-implement natin ang mga techniques na to, we are actually meron tayong expenses, right? Meron naman tayong expenses kapag i-implement natin ang mga to. So we need to compute if the expenses is worth it to increase our collection period, or kung meron ba tayong benefit, or baka magkakaroon tayo ng loss kapag i-implement natin ang isa sa mga ito. So the net benefit or loss is computed as follows. First is the decrease in collection period times the average daily collections. Okay, so kapag nagdi-decrease ang collection period natin, like our discussion earlier, it means that mas marami tayong makukuhang pera, right? So if the time of decrease of collection period times the average daily collections, this is the increase of our collections. Okay, this is the increase of collections. Next, increase in payment period times the average daily payment. Okay, so kung mas late naman tayong magbabayad, right, meaning mas matagal nating magagamit ang pera natin. So, mas matagal natin siyang pwedeng ilagay sa investments natin, or pwedeng ilagay sa mga sa bank accounts natin and earning interest, right? So, any increase in payment period multiplied by the average daily payment, it is actually the increase sa mga pera na mahahawakan natin. Kasi nga kapag this is actually an increase of held money na lang. Basta ganon. Kasi yung explanation na detoy. So this is the total. Meaning, yung total na to, this is the total cash na increase in cash na mahahawakan natin. Okay? So this is the increase in cash multiplied by the opportunity cost or the rate of return. So yung opportunity cost or rate of return, ito lang yung mga interest or yung mga income in percentage na ma-earn natin kung magagamit natin ang mga pera natin. So we multiply it by the percentage, yung increase in pera natin dito. We multiply it by the percentage to get the benefit. So yung benefit, ito na yung amount of, it is the increase of the interest or increase of our income. Right? So, tapos, i-deduct natin yung additional expenses. So, ito na yung sinabi kong, kapag nag implement tayo sa mga techniques na to, meron tayong may incur na expenses. So, we need to deduct these expenses. So, if the benefit outweighs the expenses, will get a net benefit. Pero kung yung benefit is less than our additional expenses, we will have a net loss. So, hindi na lang natin i-implement. Okay, so yun. That is the float. Okay, that is float. And that is the receivable management. Okay, so that will be all for today, class. Thank you for listening. See you again next meeting. Bye.